Sports on Tap Detroit, brought to you by the Realtors of the Joe Wright Group, Jason Stiltner of Flagstar Bank, Aldman Entertainment.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen.
I need all of you to stop what you're doing and listen.
We are tonight's entertainment.
We're here to fuck shit up.
Sports the way it should be. Nothing sugar-coated, we're loaded with all the information you wanted. From legends to prospects, nothing's off limits. Chris and Joe be taking on all topics with no stopping. They keep it rolling and going and ball hopping at a rate that's hard stopping with news that's jaw dropping. They getting it in. Sports Center competition, man, they in it to win. This ain't a fluke from Carolina to Duke, from MSU to Michigan. You'll know if you listening. If you ain't, you missing it. All the excitement, they shock like a thundercloud and ride with lightning. Get it together, you know ain't nobody better. Bring heat than cold weather. You better put on a sweater. You better just let it go and all come and attack. Sit back, relax, let's tell them it's on tap.
We'll do it live. Fuck it.
Let me talk to you.
I wasn't sure if you were going to do it or not. Welcome to episode 118 of Sports on Tap Detroit. I'm Chris Scott, alongside Joe Waddell and Eric Anderson. Fellas, how we doing?
Doing good, man.
Yeah.
Doing good.
Yeah.
Doing real good.
Doing good. You doing all right?
I'm doing all right. We got two days till the NFL season officially starts, so
I can't fucking wait.
You know, I got a little taste of it this past weekend with college football, like really getting going. And you know, I'm more of a college guy than an NFL guy, but
Yep.
I'm just happy it's back. This is arguably the best time of year. Everything's starting up. You know, and I know people will say like springtime is maybe a little bit better because you got playoffs going on and you're about to crown a champion. But you know, after that happens, then it's just baseball. Don't get me wrong, I love baseball.
Yeah, but when there's just baseball,
Yes.
it's a little bit bleh,
Right.
you know.
But now you got, you know, the college football just started. The NFL is going to start in a couple days. You know, NHL and NBA training camps are getting back. So
This is my favorite time of year.
It's arguably the best time of year if you're a sports fan. So,
Yep.
I mean, you really can't go wrong with it. So, with that being said, we got a lot of NFL stuff to get into. And I know
Basically, NFL preview
yes.
part 2.
NFL preview part 2. We kind of went over the divisions last week. Kind of got that out of the way. Kind of how we see these divisions, turning out. So I hope you guys got a chance to listen to that. But now we got to get a little bit deeper.
Get a
little bit deeper.
You sound like me trying to end a show.
Dude,
Get it.
seriously, man. I think you should just keep to what you were saying before the show.
I'm just going to keep concentrating on the you guys talk. I'm going
Right.
to concentrate on the end of the show. That way I
Right.
don't fuck it up when we get there.
I hope you get it right this time.
Yeah.
If not, we're just going to laugh at you, obviously.
Hope in one hand, shit in the other one. Tell me which one fills up first.
Well, I think we all know the
Too
answer
late.
to that. As I said, I think we all know the answer to that. So, with that being said, we're going to get a little bit deeper into kind of what we think is going to happen with this NFL season, player-wise, and kind of our who we think is going to go to the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, etc.
Some predictions for the season.
Some predictions.
Some our thoughts.
I mean, everybody else does it, so why not us?
Why not?
Why not? And then we can look back on it and see how much
wrong we were?
Yeah, exactly, like we always do.
Yeah, because we're not those assholes who only point out the things we do right.
No, we will definitely point out when we get something wrong.
we get enough things right, but we get enough things wrong too, and we will absolutely point them out. And if we're not willing to
Trey
point,
Lance.
yeah, and if we're not willing to point them out singly, then we're going to point them out for each other.
Absolutely.
So that's going to
100%.
happen too.
I see this list we got here. I see Eric's still missing one. Do you see that?
Well, I see
missing a couple.
on my list, I'm missing a few of them on here. I'm 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 on the list on the actual computer here. Huh. But you're missing.
We're down to 2.
Down to 2.
down to
All
2.
right.
No, sorry,
Eric,
3.
you can wing those 3 as we get to them. Yeah, it's whatever, man.
Fine.
All right.
So are we starting off with this?
Yeah, let's let it rip,
All right.
man.
All right.
Why not?
So I took last year's that we did.
Yeah.
And I kind of just added a few things to it, tweaked it a
Okay.
little bit.
Okay.
Last year's was fun. I
It
enjoyed.
was
going
fun.
through
Yeah,
that.
it was a good time.
So let's start off with AFC winner.
Yes.
Now, we went over the division winners last week, and those are up on the website, sotdet.com, if you want to check it out. It's on the show picks portion of the website. But if you want to pick the AFC winner now, as opposed to just the divisions, we're going to go through and say who we think the winners are going to be for the conferences.
Yeah.
So,
Go ahead, man. Let it rip.
all right, so my AFC winner is, it was tough. I had a few teams that I could choose in this one. I waffled between the team that you guys will eventually talk about, the one I chose, and the defending Super Bowl champions, and Jacksonville.
Mm-hmm.
But the one I ended up choosing was Miami.
Okay.
I think I'm banking on Tua staying healthy all year, which is probably not something you should bank on. But
It's a bold strategy.
it's
Kyle.
we'll see how that pays out. But that's what I'm banking on, him staying healthy and the Miami Dolphins being kind of a surprise team with him staying healthy all year. They have a decent defense. They have offensive weapons. So, yeah, I went with Miami.
I didn't really even consider Miami because, A, I don't think Tua is going to stay healthy. I don't think their offensive line is good enough, and I don't think their running game is good enough. Yes, they have weapons on the outside, and that's all well and good. But I don't think they have a team good enough to win the Super Bowl. I don't, let alone make it. So I took Baltimore. It's going to be interesting to see Lamar Jackson with weapons.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be great to see him not have to carry the offensive load on his shoulders and see what he can actually do if he has time to actually throw the ball.
Right.
Now we've all ripped on his throwing ability, and deservedly so.
Rightfully so.
Exactly. So but I don't necessarily put that all on him because a lot of times you have subpar receivers to throw to, you know. So I'm sticking with Baltimore. Baltimore's always good. You know, they know how to win. That's simple. They know how to win, and I think they're going to make it through the AFC. And if you make it through the AFC this year, you've done something because the AFC this year is an absolute
The
monster.
AFC is tough. It's tough.
Yeah.
There's a handful of teams that you rightfully could pick
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, 100%.
for the AFC winner.
AFC was
Truthfully.
very hard to pick.
It was. I kind of like you. I waffled to a few teams, but that when it came down to it, I'm like, okay.
And the reason I didn't go with Kansas City because to me that was too easy.
Oh, yeah.
Same.
You know, it was like, all right,
Same, and also to go back to back too. So difficult.
right.
How often do you see that in the NFL?
It's
In other sports, you have seen it. But
Yeah.
I don't remember in my lifetime seeing it.
no,
No, and
it's difficult. It's very difficult.
somebody said that you can only have a dynasty if you win back-to-back Super Bowls, which I
No.
think is absurd.
No, wrong.
I think it's especially in the salary cap era.
A
I
dyna-
think it's incredibly absurd.
A dynasty is a.
Oh, you know who it was?
Is a length of time.
It was Stephen A. that said it.
Oh, he's a.
Yes.
Okay, that explains it.
And I'm the idiot that just said I've never seen that in my lifetime, and the Patriots had already done it.
Yeah. I mean, we've seen it, but
I
but
think
it's
in
difficult.
my lifetime, I'm 37.
Yeah.
That's the only team I've seen since I've been alive
Right.
do it.
Well, it's very difficult.
It's incredibly difficult.
It's one of those things you're not going to see very often.
You know, other sports you have seen it more often than that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, you have. But again,
Well, in NFL, like it's, there's so many things that change from year to year, and there's injuries that happen, and if you have an injury plagued season, you're screwed as a team. You know what I mean? Like, and who knows? We might be seeing that with Kansas City right now. This might not be their year because, I mean, Travis Kelce just went down with an injury, hyperextended knee, and they can't get out of their own way with the Chris Jones thing. So like he's not playing for them right now. So
I think it's going to be their biggest detriment right there is the Chris Jones thing.
I mean, that's huge.
It's big.
But if you lose
It's real
Travis
big.
Kelce for any length of time at all, that's huge too because Travis Kelce is your offense.
Right. And
Yes, Patrick Mahomes is great. But what else do you have besides Travis Kelce?
according to you, Sky Moore.
Okay, but he's not
Right.
he's not the next coming of Tyreek Hill. He's a weapon, but
Right.
if that's all you have, you need somebody else to take some coverage away.
Oh, I mean, if Pacheco can improve on what he did last year, I mean, that's another weapon
Yeah.
right there. Now, I agree with you on the Chiefs. It's so hard to do what they've done for this long a time. It just is. And, yeah, I know you got the best quarterback in the game on your team, and that's all well and good. But given this defense how it is, especially without Chris Jones, the defense is a sieve without Chris Jones. It's bad. Like, they get zero pressure on the quarterback without
Well,
that dude.
they without him, he stops the run and he gets pressure on the quarterback. He stuffs that middle.
Yep.
So those are two things that you're going to miss him. The fact that they haven't gotten this deal done to me is just stupid.
It is.
He's not even asking for Aaron Donald money.
He's not, and that's what's crazy to me. It's like he's not asking for that.
He's asking for like $10 million less.
Yeah, and you're still not going to pay him.
He's willing to sign for like $10 million less than Aaron Donald's deal.
Okay. Well, yeah, so the way you guys want to go about it, good luck.
Yeah.
So, and your pick to get out of the AFC was
Baltimore as well,
yes.
for all those reasons.
For all the,
So moving on to
So-
the what?
yep.
Oh, yeah.
So NFC winner.
Yeah, so moving on to the NFC winner, we were chalk across the board on this one. Because I look at the NFC and it's so just blah. It's just,
It was the exact opposite of the AFC. for me.
literally, it's the exact opposite
So
of
I
the
was
AFC.
trying to come up with a handful of teams. Right?
I was too.
Yeah.
I was looking. I was like, all right, let me try to come up with a handful of teams and narrow it down. I couldn't even come up with a handful of teams. It was it always went back to the one.
Yep.
It was it.
Yeah. No, you're right. You're right. That's I think they're the class of that conference. It's sad, but it's true. So I took, and we all took, the Philadelphia Eagles to go back to the Super Bowl.
Yep.
I mean, I know they lost some guys on defense. I get it.
But
I-
then they filled them in the draft.
They did. But again, that's rookies. It's a little bit different. But I think with Jalen Hurts, another year, I think he takes another step up this year. I think this is the year. This is that step that you're looking for, and I think this is the year that he does it. Yeah.
So he took a huge step last year, but as the NFL goes, as quarterbacks go, there's a couple of steps they have to make along the way, right? There's getting to be the Pro Bowler, then there's becoming the All Pro, then there's becoming the guy that can carry your team to a Super Bowl. And I think last year he took the two steps in one almost. He became a Pro Bowler, he became an All Pro.
Yeah.
Like he took that double step last year, right? Now it's time to take the next step. The same step that we've been waiting for Josh Allen to take.
Now it's that step to where you get to elite status.
Right.
Yeah. You know.
The same step we've been waiting for Josh Allen to
Yeah.
take. And again, Josh Allen is one of the best in the game right now, but he hasn't taken that step to carry his team to a Super Bowl. Can Jalen Hurts do it? I believe he can.
And
I believe it's set up for him.
Yep. And getting back to Josh Allen, I feel like that if he doesn't do it this year, he's not going to do it. This is just.
I would agree with you.
This is what he is.
I would agree with you.
He's a good to great quarterback, but he's not elite.
I would agree with you.
Okay.
Yeah. And I'm a huge fan of his.
But yeah, you and me both.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I'm
Yeah.
a Bills fans, but. So, with that being said, moving on to the Super Bowl champion, and again, we went chalk across the board on this one too. We all took Philadelphia to win the Super Bowl.
And mind you, we all made these picks separately from each other.
We did.
So we had these separately.
I mean, if you listen to the Eagles players from last year, they should have won, but they played on a shitty field. And granted, that field was terrible.
It was.
It was.
Yeah.
It was a horrendous field to play on. Do I think the game would have been closer, or maybe Philadelphia have even won if it was played on a better actual field? Maybe. But I mean, that's it. It doesn't matter. They lost, but I think they're good enough to get back.
I agree.
And I think-
and again, I think you hit on it, is the fact that the NFC doesn't have much.
They don't.
Like there's not much competition there.
Like, other than San Francisco, and even them, I question
Right.
because their quarterback situation. I'm sorry.
Yeah, nope. I question it too. I mean, the rest of their team is good enough. They've got a great run game, a good offensive line, great defense, right? I mean, but that quarterback situation proved last year to be their downfall, and it didn't improve this year.
Right. You got a guy coming off of Tommy John surgery.
Yep.
Which,
Yeah.
I mean, it's
And
only
a guy that sees ghosts.
and a guy that sees ghosts. That's your quarterback room right now.
That's
And like, I know with Tommy John surgery, it's different for pitchers than it is for quarterbacks because the way you throw a football is different than the way you throw a baseball. It just is.
absolutely.
But
There's more torque on your elbow.
with a baseball,
With a baseball.
oh, absolutely, there is. Yeah.
Way more torque because you're twisting the ball. You're
Yep.
literally twisting every time on your elbow.
Yep.
Where as a quarterback, you're just it's not that same motion.
So, like, we say how much of like a powerhouse the AFC is, and yet we all have an NFC team winning the Super Bowl. And I think that's kind of by design because I think those AFC teams are going to beat the shit out of each other.
Yeah.
It's going to be tougher.
There's not going to be much left of him
No.
at the end of the season.
No, so I think you got to look at it and go, well, what's the easiest road to get to and win the Super Bowl? And I think it's the Philadelphia Eagles. You know, it's kind of how I looked at it, but
Nope,
mean-
you're dead nuts. That's pretty much how I looked at it too. Is you have those handful of teams, you have those grouping of teams in the AFC that they're gonna be beating each other. They're gonna be beating the shit out of each other, right? Those are all gonna be tough games.
Yeah.
Right.
Like every division, they're going to
Right.
pretty much
And then-
every division in the AFC.
And then in the playoffs, you're going to
Yeah.
have tough, hard-fought games. And I just feel like the NFC is not as difficult. Philadelphia will, I hate to say cruise, because you can't really cruise in the NFL. Every team can win on every.
well,
any
according
given
to
Sunday,
everybody
but-
else, they cruised last year to the Super Bowl. Fucking idiots.
Yeah. But I mean, I do see them having the easier path. Let's put it that way.
They do, simply because their conference isn't as good.
Right.
It's as simple as that. So we got the the Super Bowl participants and the Super Bowl champ out of the way. Now we're gonna get into some kind of deeper stuff, some cool stuff, which I dig this kind of stuff.
Some deeper random
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah. So we're looking at who's your sleeper team, and I'm gonna start off with Eric here.
So I've got Denver being the sleeper team this year.
Okay.
They were absolutely horseshit last year, but you have a great, proven coach coming in.
I'm gonna stick to what I said at last week's show. I think they're gonna be an absolute dumpster fire. I do.
And they very well could be.
Yeah. I think the makings are there. I'm in between. I'm torn. I don't know what to expect from them, but part of me expects them to be better because of Sean Payton. But part of me expects them to be bad again because just that they were such a dumpster fire. It's like can Sean Payton make that much of a difference in 1 year, or does he even want to your point last week, does he even want to make that big of a difference?
I think he wants to burn it to
Does
the
he?
ground and
Right.
start fresh on his own.
So that's where I'm torn on that one. I think they could be better because I think they do have talent on that team. I mean, unless Russ used to be talented, right? But they've got some talent on the team. Cortland Sutton is not a slouch at wide receiver. Javonte Williams is not a slouch at running back. He's very good. Got injured last year. Samaje Perine is not bad. They have Jerry Jeudy, who is decent when he's on the field, but he can't stay healthy. They've got a rookie in Mims as a wide receiver. He's got talent. They have talent. Does Sean Payton make a difference? Does he even want to make a difference? That's the biggest thing for me. I don't know. I'm up in the air.
I can see him and Russ getting into it like mid-season. I could absolutely.
If
see
Russ
that.
doesn't if Russ hasn't changed his attitude from last year, yeah.
and I'm here for it.
Oh,
I'm here
absolutely.
for it. 100%. I'm here for it, man.
I'm here to watch it.
So Joe, your sleeper team was the Washington Redskins.
Yes, and I'm
Soon to be Redskins.
Soon to be back.
Soon to be again Redskins.
they're the Redskins to me and you,
Yes.
right? They're the
Yes.
Redskins to us, right? We're always going to call them the Redskins.
Absolutely.
Uh,
I refuse to call them the Commanders. I won't do it.
I would still call them the Washington football team before I
Yes.
call them the
I
Commanders.
will not call them Commanders.
No, for this, I'm banking on one thought process that I've had, and it's the fact that I think Howell is going to be a better quarterback than what people think.
Not exactly a high bar there in Washington either.
No, it's not. But you have some good receivers. Now, Terry McLaurin is hurt right now. Might not play week 1, but you've got Jahan Dotson, who is a very good receiver. Might even be better than Terry McLaurin. You've got Terry McLaurin. You've got a couple of very good running backs back there. I think they're going to surprise. And that defense was decent last year. So I think they're going to surprise some people. And they're a team I think could sneakily beat some teams that people don't think they could beat. And they'll have a decent record by the end of the season. I think they will be competitive in that division. Not with Philly, but with the other two teams.
Right.
The other two.
And my sleeper team was the Sea Chickens. I low-key think they're going to win that division. I do.
They could.
Their QB situation is better than San Francisco's, and they've addressed needs that they've had for years.
It's not delivery, it's the Gino.
That's right. The Gino. I told you, we should have made those shirts, damn it. We could have made some money off that shit. But no, I think low-key, I think Seattle is going to be a sneaky good team, and they have a shot to win that division.
Yep.
So that's my sleeper team coming out this year. But
I like it. I think all three of those teams that we named have a chance at being a surprise in their division.
right, yeah. Moving on to the breakout quarterback, I went with Justin Fields because if he's finally got weapons.
Yep.
So you're going to see what he can finally do with people to actually throw the fucking ball to instead of having to run all over the goddamn field to create plays.
And he's still going to run all over the goddamn field, but he'll also have weapons to throw to as well.
Exactly.
So. I like that pick for you. I stayed away from that one. I'm a huge Justin Fields slappy right now. You know that. I went more for a deeper dive. I agree with you. I think this is going to be a great year for Justin Fields. I really do.
And not to mention playing in that division. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think he's going to put up some numbers playing in that division. I don't think Green Bay is going to be great. They're going to be solid. And whenever they get together, it's relatively a close game. But Minnesota's defense is atrocious.
Yes.
And I'm still not sold on the Lions' defense either.
No.
I agree with you.
So I think he's going to have a chance to – I mean, you're going to – 8 games against those teams. You're going to have the chance to put up numbers.
I mean, speaking of the Lions' defense, Houston was on the verge of – they were talking about he might possibly get cut after he was Mr. Sackman last year, and everyone had him pegged to be the next coming of Reggie White.
Right.
He was on the verge of getting cut this offseason, this preseason. So, I mean, there was talks of it.
Yeah. But
which is how bad has looked.
Right.
So, no, I'm with you. The Lions have a lot of unproven guys on that defense, right? Everyone is basing that defense on the end of last year and potential, right?
Yeah.
But there's a lot of unproven commodities on that defense. So I'm with you there. And that division, to me, is wide open.
It is.
I believe the Lions are going to win it. I think it's theirs to win. I think if they don't win it, they've done something wrong. But the rest of those teams are not that far behind the Lions.
No.
You know what I mean? Like, it's not like the Lions are far and above. It's not like it's Philly in the division that they're in or who else am I? What other division? But the division's not that. They're all kind of grouped together. The Lions are the cream of the crop, but they're still pretty fucking close, right?
So, sorry, go ahead.
No, that's right. I was just going to say, and I agree with you there. I think Fields is going to have a field day.
Oh, wordplay, nice.
Against all the opponents in their division. Minnesota's, like, you hit it. Minnesota's defense is fucking horrible. Yep. Green Bay's defense is good, but I still think Justin Fields can succeed against them.
Yes.
So yeah.
And Joe, you went with Kenny Pickett.
I did, along with Eric. We both took Kenny Pickett. From what I've seen from him in this offseason, he has progressed. I mean, he played a lot during the offseason. I mean, a lot during the preseason, right? It looks like he's worked on his game during the offseason. He's making the right reads. He's making the right decisions. And he's got the talent. He had the talent last year. You saw glimpses of it. I think in his second year, in his sophomore season, I think he takes that step, man. I don't know how you felt about it, why you picked him, but
that's why.
I just kind of see that next step. The game has now, to me, it looks like the game has slowed down for him.
Right.
And he's going to be able to make better throws, make better decisions. I think the Steelers are going to be a little bit of surprise. I think we talked about it last week. I think they're going to be surprising.
What say you?
Oh, I also had Kenny Pickett.
Yeah, so I know that.
Yeah, he's. I seen the preseason too. He's definitely looks like he's progressing. I like that they played him as much as they did. Mm-hmm. He looked good, like you said. He looked good last year too. He needs a little bit more, and I think this year he takes that step.
Yeah, there was times last year where, like I said,
rookie mistakes,
and the game is faster, and you have to catch up to the game, right? It looks to me like he has caught up to the game. The game has slowed down for him a little bit, and he can go through his progressions, make his reads, make his decision making, and be the quarterback that everyone kind of thought he was going to be.
Next, we got breakout running back. Eric, you took, I'm assuming, Jahmyr Gibbs.
I sure did.
Which
don't do that. I pray that he is the second coming of Debo.
I mean, that dude's getting a lot of hype, man.
No, he is. You'll see a little bit farther down the list why I went.
Okay. All right. I mean, for breakout running back, I mean, it's hard to say like a rookie is a breakout running back, but I'll allow it. It's all good. Yeah, I mean,
first year you have no stats to go on. So if you put up 800-900 yards, I'm just
I'm curious to see how they're going to use.
receptions, I'd say that's a pretty damn
I think it's
successful
pretty,
season.
pretty
Yeah.
good. Yes, that's why I'm curious to see how they're going to use him in this offense.
Yeah.
I think they're going to use him all over the field, which
Yeah.
is, yeah. So he's definitely going to put up numbers, given he stays healthy. Obviously, this is all based on health.
Yep.
as it always is. I took James Cook, and the simple reason why is because if he doesn't break out this year, the Bills are fucked. It's simple as that.
Yeah, I got to be honest with you, man. I'm worried about that situation.
I am too.
I don't think he has what his brother had for a short period of time. I don't think he has that. I don't see that from him. Now I hope he shows it.
From everything I've
I hope
read,
James Dalvin instead of
Yeah,
Dalvin
right,
James.
right.
Shows
Now,
it.
everything I've read and everything I've heard out of Bill's camp is he's been fantastic in training camp, and that's great. Like, cool, because nobody really knows the kind of offense they're going to run now.
Right.
Because, and now I know why they drafted Kincaid in the first round. It actually makes sense now. I hated it at the time, but I get it now, so I don't hate it as much. So I'm curious to see how they're going to use him out of the backfield.
Yeah, they're going to run two tights quite a bit.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Which is
You're going to
which
see
is good.
You're going to see Knox and Kincaid on the field.
Right. So now
I-
teams can't stack the box.
Right.
Which I think it's only going to benefit James Cook. That's why I think, and I hope, kind of like you would Jahmyr Gibbs, I hope he has a breakout season.
Yep. So I went with Javonte Williams from Denver. I think he would have had that breakout season last year if he didn't get hurt. I love the dude's talent. I think he's one of the more talented running backs in the league. And I think if he gets the opportunity, if he stays healthy, he's going to have a really, really good year.
Yeah.
So
I like that.
not much more analysis I need to do on that one. Really, it's his talent. It's his talent, and the fact that he got injured last year. I think he would have showed it last year. I think he's just going to show it this year, a year later than what people kind of thought.
Nice. Going to breakout wide receiver, you, Joe, went with Calvin Ridley.
Yeah, I went with the gambler.
Yes.
Went with Kenny Rogers.
Yeah.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley. I think him and Trevor Lawrence are gonna just light the fucking NFL up this year. That team to me is gonna be so fun to watch. I'm gonna watch them every chance I get. I'm gonna watch a lot of the red zone. I think they're gonna be on red zone a lot.
Yeah, I think they are. I don't disagree with you on that.
I'm really looking forward to them. And to me, Ridley's just set up for success, right? I mean, you got Christian Kirk, Captain Kirk, who did great there last year. I mean, he was by far better than we thought he was going to be there. Like we kind of
we looked at that contract.
We
we're like,
bashed
what
that
the-
contract, right? Now the contract still is pretty fucking absurd.
It's not great.
But like Captain Kirk did wonders there last year.
He did.
Now, when you have Calvin Ridley, who is a much better receiver than Captain Kirk, and he's coming back, and he looks great. He's running great routes. He's fast. But you have Kirk on the other side who takes some coverage away from him, and you have Evan Ingram who takes some coverage away over the middle. Like, you don't know where you can't double cover anybody, really. Like,
No.
they have a lot of weapons.
Right,
And
they
then you
gotta
have ATN out of the backfield.
Yep.
They have a ton of weapons, and I think Calvin Ridley is going to be the biggest beneficiary to that. I think he's going to be open a ton, and Trevor Lawrence is just going to probably be feeding the ball to him all day.
Oh yeah. I went with Zay Jones. I think the dude's going to be an absolute stud this year. I do. He's going to fly all around that field, and it's going to be great.
Yeah.
And it's going to help me with my Super Bowl pick. So, and like I said, it's going to be great to see Lamar actually have weapons to throw to. So, and I think he's that type of game breaker that Baltimore has desperately needed for
Wait, Zay
years.
Jones? You mean Zay
Or
Flowers?
Zay Flowers, sorry, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry, my bad.
No, you're good.
I
All right,
typed-
that's what I thought you were talking about.
Yeah, my bad.
Zay Flowers. Yep.
Yes, that guy. I typed it. I don't know why I put Jones in there. I don't know. Anyways.
No, they're both Zay.
Yes.
I'm with you, Chris. I think Zay Flowers is going to have a huge year.
Yeah, I do too. It's going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. And then Eric, you went with. I'm assuming this Justin Jefferson.
I went with Van Jefferson.
Van Jefferson. Okay.
Van Jefferson.
L.A.
Okay.
Wow.
With the
All
Cooper
right.
Cup injury?
Okay.
So yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. I'm thinking Cooper Kupp's going to start dropping off just a little bit, and he's going to become the number one. Kupp's going to slide to 2. I think you're going to see majority of the targets be going to Van Jefferson this year over Cooper Kupp.
Wow.
I like that. Going with rookie sleeper next. Like I just talked about a few minutes ago, I went with Dalton Kincaid. I think he's going to change the look of that Bills offense for the better, and I think it's going to give them a certain dynamic that they haven't had that they absolutely need to stop teams from stacking the box and putting all the pressure on Josh Allen to get rushing yards, basically.
Yeah.
And again, it gives him another weapon to throw the ball to. So, yeah, I think Dalton Kincaid. And like I said, I wasn't thrilled when they made the pick, but reading more into it, I understand why they did it. Now it makes a ton of sense. Okay, cool. I think with him and Dawson Knox, I think Dalton Kincaid's going to have. I think he's going to have a big rookie year. I'm looking forward to it.
Yep. Eric, who say you? Because I don't have one on my list for you here.
Jalen Hyatt,
Oh, okay.
Okay.
receiver for the Bills.
Receiver for the
Giants.
Giants. Giants.
These guys.
By all accounts, he's had a great camp, and
but he's still got Danny Dimes still on the ball too.
Yeah, that's the only issue I have
he's
with it,
he's
but-
pegged to be. He's pegged to be the deep guy, the guy that's gonna basically take the top off the defense. So that's a decent one. I like that one. He's had a lot of people talking him up. In this preseason here. I went with Roschon Johnson, running back for Chicago. He's been running with the first team. I know they got Khalil Herbert, and Khalil Herbert's fast, but Khalil Herbert to me is more of the lightning than the thunder, right? I mean, he's the receive the ball out of the backfield. He's the screen pass guy. He's the third down draw running back. I don't see Khalil Herbert being big enough to be an every down back. That's where this year's rookie comes in that they drafted, Roschon Johnson. He's already been running with the first team in practice, and I believe he takes the majority of the carries, like the first and second down carries. They're gonna still get Khalil Herbert on the field, but I think he's gonna have a hell of a year.
Okay. Next up, we got rookie bust. Now, it's hard to call a rookie a bust. Like, it is.
Right.
But,
Yeah, I mean you got to take this one is with a grain of salt, right?
yeah.
Is what rookie that was drafted in the first round, or what rookie has very high expectations,
Like-
will not succeed this year.
Right. Like, you look back at it, then if we just left it at strictly rookie year, then Peyton Manning was a bust. Troy Aikman was a bust.
So that's
You
this,
know?
right. What rookie
Yes.
bust this season, not
yes.
overall, but this season.
Me and Eric went the same on this. We went with Richardson, the quarterback for Indianapolis. And for me, it's not so much about a talent issue. I think it's just the team he plays on.
It's not helping him at all.
It's definitely not, especially given the Jonathan Taylor situation. He's going to be gone the first 4 games of the year. And you're literally setting him up to fail.
right.
And
Completely. We talked about last
we
week.
did. And from things I've heard and read, he hasn't had a great camp. He can't hit open receivers. In camp, you can't hit open receivers.
It's not good.
That's a problem.
That's an issue.
That was his biggest issue at Florida. He couldn't hit anybody past 7 yards. That shit doesn't work in the NFL, man.
Only in the combine.
Only in the combine. and we've talked about this ad nauseum about the combine with these GMs. They get so enamored with a player they see that can run, the 40-yard dash in like 4.2, and they can bench press 8,000 pounds, and they can jump 60 feet, whatever. It's like, this isn't football stuff. Like, give me a guy that can run routes, that can actually hit open receivers, that can lead receivers, like that can read a defense.
Yep.
Give me that guy.
Yeah.
But it's just like analytics in baseball, how they got basically a computer running fucking a pitching staff. It's absurd.
Yeah.
But I digress.
Oh yeah. No, I don't think I don't think there's a bad pick there because, and I'm with you. I don't think he's a bad player, and I think he's got the potential, but that team is going to be bad this year.
It is.
Like there's not much around him.
Nope. Again,
So-
setting him up to fail.
Yep. I went with Jahmyr Gibbs. I see David Montgomery getting a lot of carries in that backfield. There's a reason they signed him.
That's true.
You saw Jamal Williams succeed last year, and he succeeded by there was a lot of 1-yard touchdowns, but that's who's going to get those carries too. But I think David Montgomery is a better running back than Jamal Williams. So you're going to see him get a lot of the first and second down carries as well.
Right.
David Montgomery is not a bad receiver out of the backfield. He's going to get some of those. they're going to use Gibbs as a gimmick guy, as a gadget guy, as a slash guy. You're going to see him all over the field. I just don't necessarily see him succeeding this season in doing that. When you see rookie running backs succeed, it's the rookie running backs that are the every down back, that it's the Nick Chubb, it's the Jonathan Taylor, it's going
to be Bijan Robinson.
Yes, it's the Bijan Robinsons. Those are the guys you see succeed right away, right? And I just see on this team, I'm not saying Gibbs is going to be a bad player for the rest of his career. I'm not saying he's going to be a bad player this year. I'm just saying you're not going to see quite what you expect to see from him. I think the expectations for him are way too high right now. He's being drafted in the first round in some fantasy drafts. Like I see that and I'm like, what the fuck is happening?
Is this throwback to like 2004?
Right, what are we doing?
Drafted running backs first overall. Holy
I
shit,
pulled him
man.
to the side and I'm like, dude, this guy is a rookie. He's unproven, and they've got him in the top like 35 people out of all of the fantasy players.
I don't see it.
How?
No.
I don't see it. I just don't see it. That's why I got him as a. And again, they had him ranked so high, and we're talking about fantasy and a lot of this stuff too. Is they had him ranked so high? Like, no, I don't see that happening. You're not going to get your investment back on that.
Right.
If you invest a higher round pick in him, I don't see that panning out this year. I'm not saying he's going to be a bad player overall. I'm saying he's probably going to have a good career. He's very talented. I just don't see that happening this season.
You know who
to
else?
that level.
You know who else is talented?
Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank.
That's right. If you're a homeowner or looking to be a first-time home buyer, give Jason Stiltner, Senior Loan Officer at Flagstar Bank, a call today at 248-752-3631. Jason has great mortgage programs for first-time home buyers, including down payment assistance options and excellent interest rates. Again, give my guy Jason Stiltner from Flagstar Bank a call today at 248-752-3631 and get the excellent service you deserve. Flagstar Bank, Equal Housing Lender, member FDIC, NMLS number 27546.
Yeah.
Gotta love that.
Let me talk to you.
It's so good. So good. All right, so getting back to our little list here, we're moving on to the must-have. Now, you did specify a position, so it's just general players. Must
general.
have. Okay.
General, and this is more of a fantasy football question, like a player that you must have it if you're entering a fantasy draft.
I see. I did not look at it as a fantasy question.
Oh, okay. All right. Well, for me, that was must have. Like you enter your fantasy draft, and this is the one player like that you want to escape that draft with. Like if you had one guy on your mind, doesn't matter how the rest of your draft goes, you want to leave there with this one guy.
Gotcha. And you went with Garrett Wilson.
I went with Garrett Wilson. There was a couple guys I could have put here. I love Calvin Ridley this year. He's one that I was really high on. But Garrett Wilson to me is one. And the sad part is I discussed this before we went on the show, went on the air. I have 4 fantasy drafts this year. I cut down my leagues. And in those 4 fantasy leagues,
imagine cutting down and you still have 4 fucking fantasy leagues. Good Lord. That's so many.
It's so bad. But like, I don't have a single share of Garrett Wilson in any one of those 4 leagues. I have no shares.
Well,
of
people
Garrett
obviously had the same idea as you did.
Exactly. And I wasn't willing to spend up. I had a set place I was willing.
Which I'm actually surprised about that you weren't willing to spend up on him.
Yeah, I had a spot I was willing to take him on, right?
Okay.
And sometimes the way the snake drafts work, you're just not in a good position to get him, right? You don't want to take him too early, but by the time it gets back to you, it's way too late.
Yeah.
You
want the value.
It's value, right? But I do love some Garrett Wilson this year. I think he's going to have a really big year. I think him and Aaron Rodgers are going to connect a lot. I see a huge season coming for him. Same as I do Calvin Ridley, both those guys.
And Eric, you went with
I had Austin Eckler.
You did, which
had a hell of a season last year. I don't see him slowing down at all.
Well, that's 2 years. I mean,
we broke out 2 years ago.
Yeah,
nobody's seen that coming really.
I mean,
he
he's
went off.
He's been the man.
I mean, he hasn't missed a beat.
No, he's been the man. It's hard to pick against him, but to me, that's why I pick against him, because I'll be honest with you, I see a regression coming with him this year. Only because I think that team finds a way to spread the ball around a little more, and not basically kill their best player. They're not gonna basically just run him into the ground. But that's the only reason why I wouldn't put him as something. I think for his draft value, you're not getting it this year. because you're gonna have to take him so high. I don't think he's gonna produce that this year, in my opinion, because they will pull back on like destroying him.
Yeah.
Because he's been used so much over the last couple of years. I mean, the guy's basically been run into the grave.
Yeah.
It's
pretty close to it.
Because he's a running back, but he's in on it. Like he receives 70 fucking balls a year.
Yeah.
He runs the ball. I mean,
He touches the ball a lot.
a lot, a fucking lot.
Yeah.
He's getting hit a lot.
Yeah.
Now,
So.
I didn't look at this as a fantasy question, but I suppose you could look at it in that way.
Okay.
But I took Saquon Barkley. If for no other reason than if you look at Danny Dimes' splits with and without Saquon Barkley,
Oh God.
it's horrendous.
Yep.
Like, it's like night and day with and without that dude. So when I saw must have,
Yep.
Saquon Barkley.
See, I like
must have.
I like the way you looked at that though.
That makes a lot of sense.
I like the way you looked at that
Like
because that makes sense.
I heard the stat today. I'm like, no fucking way. So I looked into it. I'm like, oh my God. Like Danny Dimes, I don't think he's that good a quarterback to begin with. But without Saquon
No.
Barkley,
He's even worse.
he's fucking terrible.
Yeah.
Like seriously, he's awful.
Like, how is it possible he could be worse than
how the
what-
hell did he get $40 million? Like, it's amazing to me. He's next on my list of like all time hated quarterbacks. That guy. Like he's like Carson Wentz level. He's getting there.
I think his agent deserves his agent is
Kirk
just
Cousins-
like Kirk Cousins'
Exactly.
agent.
Those
They
dudes
deserve
belong in the Hall of Fame.
Yep.
100%. For all the money these dudes have stolen, 100%. They both belong in the Hall of Fame. So we go from must have to must avoid. Now, Eric, you took Baker Mayfield, and as Joe will tell you, I have never been the biggest Baker Mayfield guy.
Same.
And it's kind of, I guess, somewhat coming to fruition to see how his career has turned out. I think I was right on this one. Would you at least someone agree with me?
Somewhat.
Okay.
I think it would be different if Cleveland didn't go the route they went.
Okay.
I think
it's
if,
difficult to say that you're
I agree
wrong
with
in
that 100%.
I think if they kept that team together and built it around him and just paid him, you wouldn't have had to pay him what you're paying Deshaun. You just pay him what you need to pay a starting quarterback. He showed he could run that team, and he could.
Right.
I mean, he took them to the playoffs. He won 11 games. He beat Pittsburgh in Pittsburgh with the team that he had around
was a
him.
bad Pittsburgh team, though.
I mean, you
But he did it.
say what you want, but
But
I
he
mean,
did it.
the guy had a great year that year. He had a great couple years with Cleveland. I think the fact that they went a different route, it never got better for him, and he's not a game changer. He's not a Peyton Manning, right?
No.
So he needed to be in a good situation where he could thrive, and he just hasn't been. So yeah, I think you're half right. I'll concede that.
Now, do you think, like, after like all the endorsements and the commercials and shit, that it kind of like got to his head and he thought maybe he's better than he was?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think so because I don't see him being, from everything I've seen from his personality, he can be cocky, talk shit, but I mean it's not to the level of like Johnny Manziel or like something like that. Like, I don't think it ever got to his head. I think he's a hardworking. I don't think he doesn't work hard. I don't think he doesn't try.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Sometimes your talent can only take you so far, and you only have so much of that talent. And
Yeah, I've never heard him play the blame game,
no.
which a lot of those guys do.
Yeah.
Doo-doo.
Doo-doo. He said doo-doo. We have somebody on our chat here saying Amon-Ra is a must-have.
That was
that's Jay Garcia.
Yep.
I
I think that's what I put down first.
I was
Okay.
a little
Before Barkley.
torn. Thanks for joining, Jay.
Yes.
Oh, okay, that's your buddy Jay. Okay, thanks for joining, Jay. And then he says, avoid Kirk Cousins in a constant state of mental defeat.
I like the way you think, buddy. You know my absolute disdain for Kirk Cousins.
This guy's speaking your language.
Yes, he is. Well
Jay
played,
is
well
a
played,
worse
sir.
resident Lions fan than I am.
I kind of got that from the Amon-Ra one, but I mean, listen, you can't. Even as a guy who hates Lions, Amon-Ra is fucking fantastic. So.
Yes. So,
And by the way, Alicia said she picked Philly too. I didn't see that one earlier. Alicia said I picked Philly too. So
Really?
yep.
Joe, you went with Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
And we've talked about this past couple years. And I think we both, the last episode, we thought that maybe this is the year that the wheels finally fall off.
That's what I'm thinking, honestly. I think listen, whether the wheels fall off or not, he is on the downside of his career, right?
Yeah.
You're a running back.
Yep.
You've been used and abused.
Like a $2 hooker.
Yes.
Yes.
And I think this might be the year that the wheels do finally just fucking shoot out somewhere else.
Like a $1 hooker.
Yeah.
F off.
he might.
$29 or $250.
he might
Bringing
become
Mr. Allen's back. All right.
by the end of the year. By the end of the year, he might become a 50-cent hooker.
Yeah.
So
Maybe. Joe, you should know mine was pretty obvious.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. When I saw that one, I was like, yeah, I could have predicted that one.
Yeah, I went with Russell Wilson because I think he's a fucking bum, and I'm just gonna leave it at that. He's a fucking bum. I think he's washed. Next.
It's hard to argue after last season.
Yeah.
We're going deep sleeper on this one. Joe.
So I went with Ty Chandler,
Yeah.
running back from Minnesota. I don't believe in Alexander Madison. He's already a little injured. I don't believe in him as a lead running back. And Ty Chandler last year showed that he had a little bit of burst. Like he looked decent, right? It's not. There's not much standing in the way of him being the lead running back here. And I think he can succeed if it happens. But he's also going to be involved even if Alexander Madison's on the field or healthy, because you need two running backs in the NFL.
Yeah.
You can't.
Now you do. Yeah,
You can't
absolutely.
survive without two.
No, I mean you can have one guy that has the majority, but you're still putting another guy in at some point. But I think he's gonna. I think by the end of the year, he's actually gonna be the lead running back in Minnesota.
And according to this, Eric went with John Cena because I can't see it.
You can't see me.
I like that. Nope, I went with
That was a good one.
I think so.
I gotta give you
I
props
went
for
with
that
one of your boys.
All right.
I went with Dalton Kincaid on that
Oh,
one.
all right. I like it. I hope he is a deep sleeper again, like we talked about when I picked him for whatever the hell I picked him for. If he has, I think it was a breakout rookie.
Rookie.
Yeah.
Yeah, rookie.
Yeah, if he does, in fact, either he's a deep sleeper or a breakout rookie, that means he's doing something right. So, and again, it'll help with what Josh Allen is trying to do. So, yes, I like your pick, Eric. Well done. I took Kyle Pitts because everybody was so high on him last year, and Atlanta's coaches just basically said, anybody who had him in fantasy, get fucked. Like, because I had him in fantasy,
Same.
get fucked. It was like Mike Shanahan when he had running backs.
They're
He was like,
basically
get fucked.
and now basically everybody's shitting on him because he
Yeah.
shit the bed last year. Yeah.
But I think he's gonna come back, and I think he's gonna have a better year. I think he's gonna have the year he should have had last year. At least I hope so, because he's my deep sleeper. So I think he's gonna come back and have a decent. As long just use him right. Like, there's a reason you drafted him, idiots, because he's good. But
So here's just to read you this, because I read this today, and you see him Pitts there.
Yeah.
Remind me of this. So Falcons beat reporter Josh Kendall concluded a question on where managers should draft Pitts. I don't see Pitts being any higher than 4th on this team in targets. Plus, he still must prove he's healthy after last season's surgery. That's the beat reporter out of Atlanta. Now, I don't like that because I drafted him in one of my leagues, and I actually thought he was going to have a decent year this year. I think there's guys there to take targets away from him, but I also think there's guys there to take some coverage away from him that he can actually get open and get these targets, because his target share last year was pretty good. I think on Atlanta he was 25% target share.
Yeah.
23 or 25, something like that.
And
That's a hell of a target share for a guy who didn't produce.
and especially with a young quarterback, yes, I think he's
They
gonna,
usually rely on their tight end. So
yes.
I don't know. I don't necessarily. The beat reporter saying he's going to be 4th in targets scares me a little bit. I mean, maybe 3rd. Okay, so Bijan's probably going to be 1 or 2, right?
Right.
Yeah.
And then Drake London is going to be 1 or 2, and then Kyle Pitts be 3. But I don't see who's going to be fucking. I don't think who's going to be number 3 if Kyle Pitts is going to be number 4.
Right.
Who the fuck is going to be above Pitts? Whatever.
That's a good question. Now we move on to comeback player of the year this year. I actually like the 3 picks that we made. Eric, you went with Jimmy G.
I did.
Jimmy G.
New team, off of injury again.
That's the thing, though, man. Injuries, man.
That-
There's a lot of things going against him right now.
There
though,
is.
too.
There is.
but he's got
And
a
he-
great receiver to throw the ball to.
Yep.
Until he gets pissed off and wants to leave.
He's got a great.
That's coming.
He's got a great running back to take pressure off him, who's just signed a contract, so he's going to be there.
Right.
I mean, that offense, by all accounts, should be
Pretty good.
decent, right? So, I kind of like that pick, man. I don't dislike it. I don't dislike that pick.
Joe, you went with Lamar Jackson, which I like.
Yeah, I mean, I think if there's anybody primed for a comeback year, it's him. I mean, he didn't look good. Everyone kind of cast him off. He had the contract dispute, basically quit on the team.
Dude, we crushed him for that.
As well we should have,
yeah.
right? I mean,
Crushed him
he
for that.
he quit on his team, but listen, he's got the contract worked out. He's primed for a big year.
There should
I
be
mean,
the next 3 years. There should be no distraction for him.
He's primed for a big year. He absolutely is.
Well, and
Which translates over to yours.
which translates over to mine, and I took Odell Beckham Jr. I think he's gonna. If again, it's all predicated on health.
Yep.
I think he's gonna be.
Does he have a third knee to tear?
Not that I know of. But I think he's.
I think he only has two, right?
I think so.
Yeah, he
Last-
tore them
last
both.
I
Yeah, he
checked,
got those
yeah.
out of the way.
Yeah.
So we're good.
Last I checked, but I think how this offense is going to go. I think he's going to be that second guy because they're all going to shift coverage toward Flowers, right?
Oh, yeah.
And they're going to do what they can to stop Dobbins, and they're going to do what they can to stop Lamar. So who's that going to leave? You know who's going to remind me of this year? Anquan Bolden.
Oh, yeah, the aging Anquan
He's gonna-
Bolden.
like
that-
when Anquan was with the Lions, like he was so underrated with the Lions.
Yes, he was.
oh, he was. Yeah, absolutely.
But that's what I think Odell's going to do this year.
Yep.
He's going to be like that
so
slot
Anquan,
guy.
Yep. Anquan wasn't true Anquan when he was with Detroit,
No.
but he was solid.
He was
a very solid possession
He would
receiver.
get you
Always
the-
got
he'd get you
open.
the sticks.
Yep.
He would get you that first. I think that's what Odell's going to be this year. And you're going to look at if he stays healthy. You're going to look at the end of the season. He's going to have like 75 catches.
Yeah.
It's like holy shit. Okay.
Jay Garcia chimed in here. He said Derek Carr adding 25 to 30 pounds of muscle might have a good year for a comeback or first good year ever. However you want to look at it.
I'm going to go with the latter on that one.
Jay Garcia is just speaking your language
I
today.
love it, man. We are definitely on the same page today.
Yeah.
I love
Did you
it.
guys just become best friends?
I think we did just become best friends.
You want to go do Cry to the Garage? Yep.
Yeah. Oh man. Now we're getting to some of the fun ones. First benched quarterback. Joe, you went with Ryan Tannehill.
Yeah, I was torn on this one between the guy we just talked about a little bit ago, Baker, and Ryan Tannehill. I think both those quarterbacks are in a very similar situation. They are who they are, and they have young guys behind them that haven't really proven anything, but teams might want to get a look at, right? So behind Tannehill is Willis, and behind Baker is Trask. So both teams might want to get a look at those guys. So if those teams struggle, which I think they will, they might want to get a look at their younger quarterback or their other quarterback and see what they can do. So I think those two are on the they're right there, right? They're set up for being the first. I mean, it is what it writes itself almost. I mean, it's just. And Eric, I think you went with the opposite guy that I went
did.
with, right?
Baker.
Yep.
And he will. Yeah.
And he will
literally like 6 games. We're gonna know.
Yeah.
It's gonna be over really quick, or he's gonna make it through the year.
No, I think you're right on that one too. I think you will be able to tell. I think maybe before 6 games, but by 6 games, yes.
I
think
was gonna say 4. I thought that was a little premature.
Yeah. That's what she said.
Alicia, can you confirm?
So hold on, waiting for Alicia's reply on Facebook. Alicia, do you want to put that reply on Facebook or no? No? Okay. So, yeah, I think she said no comment. Ooh. Oh. Guess
Well.
Oh, that's good. That's good stuff right there.
guess who's not putting out when he gets home?
Awesome. Mine.
Eric has a headache when he gets home now, Alicia. Just letting you know.
God. Oh, this show is definitely gone off the rails.
Yep.
She did say, "Just kidding, babe." So you got that going
Got
for you.
that, which is nice. So mine might be, I guess, a little controversial. I'm going Brock Purdy. I think they're going to find out that this is the reason why he was Mr. Irrelevant and
Yeah,
coming
like-
off of Tommy John surgery.
Like last year was a fluke.
Yeah.
And then that injury doesn't quite like that is tough to come back, even though it's the NFL and it's a different motion, like we talked about. That is tough to come back from.
Like the NFL now has a whole body of tape on you.
Yeah.
So either you're gonna sink or swim, and I don't believe in Brock Purdy. I don't. Again, there's a reason why you're Mr. Irrelevant. And Kyle Shanahan, this guy, he has like, when it comes to quarterbacks,
Yeah.
it's just like, what the fuck are you looking at,
Bro. It is now by all accounts at this point in time, Brock Purdy was a good draft pick for them. You know, what I mean, it was he did well last year for Mr. Irrelevant, but I believe you might be right. We might find out that he really is Mr. Irrelevant, right? I mean,
Right.
sometimes you get lightning in a bottle,
You
but
do.
then it goes away.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, and then his evaluation of Trey Lance. I mean, you and I evaluated him really poorly too, but we don't get paid to do that.
This is true.
So
also true.
We're not coaches or GMs.
It'd be
so-
nice if we did.
That would be great.
We all went chalk with this next category. And
All
I
right,
think
our buddy Steve from Ballman Entertainment, whose birthday is tomorrow.
Oh, happy birthday, Steve.
Happy early birthday, Steve. Will love our pick for
yeah.
first coach to get
Oh,
fired
that's
because he's a
right.
huge Cowboys
he
fan.
is a huge Cowboys fan. But yes,
Well-
we all went with Mike McCarthy.
Yeah.
I mean, I could absolutely see this happening after Dak
Oh.
throws his 11th interception because he said he wasn't throwing more than 10.
By the fifth game?
I'm going to say 16. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, Dak said he wasn't throwing more than 10 interceptions, so that 11th one, Mike McCarthy, gone. And then Trey Lance is going to be starting. Oh, God.
Dumpster fire starts over.
Oh wow. How great would it be if Trey Lance ended up starting at some point and just was fucking gangbusters?
Like, how amazing
just-
is right?
Because they have receivers on Dallas. I mean,
They do. They have a good team.
Yeah.
They have a good team, and they're obviously going to challenge for the division. But how weird is it that your GM, right, and Jared Jones, like didn't tell anybody about trading for Trey Lance?
Yeah.
Didn't tell the head coach. Didn't tell anybody. Like that just tells you have no faith in your head coach, like at all.
Oh no.
So I believe
Or-
by
Maybe
We
not
thought
even
that after the first year, right?
maybe not even having faith in him. Like you don't respect him.
no hell no.
Yeah, you didn't even tell him about a huge decision you're making for your team.
Yeah.
Like you're trading for a former first round pick who's been in the league for 2 years, failed, and you're bringing him in. Like this is a big decision, and
Yeah.
yet, we're not gonna.
I
We're not gonna
I
tell.
could see this guy getting bounced after like week 7, 6, something like that. I could absolutely see that happen. And Jared Jones finding somebody to bring it home, whatever.
Jay Garcia said, "Sports on tap to Maury on demand." Turns into Maury on
Oh
demand.
yeah, nice.
Alicia did say, "I'm making my lunch," and didn't even hear the convo. So now she's making excuses to why she said what she said. But that's
Yes.
Alicia. It's okay. We'll let you make the excuse. It's fine. Eric isn't too embarrassed. It's fine.
Well, you know who doesn't make excuses?
Yeah, the Joe Wright Group.
That's right. Whether you're buying or selling your home, now is the time to take advantage of having the expertise of 4 real estate agents for the price of 1 on your side. Make the right move with the right group, the Joe Wright Group. Give Craig Joe Wright, Mike Bush, Shane Wilson, and Alex DeRocher a call today at 248-535-4750 to fulfill all of your real estate needs.
Yeah.
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 So next up, we got Touchdown Machine. And I went kind of back and forth on this one. I went with Travis Kelce. And yes, I know he may or may not play. On
Yeah, I
Thursday.
mean, it's week 1.
It's
though.
week 1, and even if he doesn't play week 1, he's still got 10 days before week 2,
Week 2, yeah.
to play. So, but
Since
I mean,
they play Thursday against the Lions.
the Lions, yes. But you see how integral he is to that offense.
Yes. Huge.
So, and this is why. This is why I think he's going to be a touchdown machine. So,
Alicia says we're no longer friends. That hurts, Alicia.
You burned
That
her
hurts.
biscuits up.
That hurts.
Burned her
That
biscuits
hurts.
up today.
You know what, Alicia? I still love you. So, you can not be friends with me. It's fine. Still love you. Kiss my ass.
Joe, you went with Bijan.
I did. I think they're going to use him and abuse him this year. Like, I really think he's going to be all over the field with that team. He's going to be split out wide. He's going to be in the backfield. He's going to be catching screen passes. He's going to be running the ball from the 1 yard line. I mean, I know they got Tyler Algier from last year, and he's decent, right? But listen, you draft a running back 10 overall, or with it, in the top 10 in a draft.
Was he 8th?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You draft a running back in the top 10.
And we crushed that pick
You,
when it happened. Like at our draft show. At least I did.
Oh, I thought, yeah. To me, it's not a great pick. I think he's a great player, but
Yeah.
to me, you hear me talk about it all the time. You don't draft a running back in the first round. I mean,
Right. Unless
unless you're
Right.
listen. And Pittsburgh did it, but they did it at like 22, and they did it with Najee Harris,
Right.
who again was one of the best running back prospects to come out. So is Bijan. But again, you towards the end of the first round, when you're a team that already has a semblance of a winning team, yes,
right.
just to get that fifth year option on him.
Mm-hmm.
Other than that, yeah, we crushed this pick for good reasons. But now that they have him, they're going to use the shit out of him.
Oh, for
he's
sure.
going to be all over that field, and I kind of see him like Jamal Williams last year, right?
Yeah, I can
He
see
got
that.
a ton of touchdowns,
Yeah, I can
right?
see- yeah.
Bijan could get a ton of short touchdowns, but he's going to be all over the field too. Like they're gonna use him so much, he's going to be the number one weapon on that team, no matter what. And so I can see him, accumulating a
Right.
18
Oh wow. Okay.
between rushing and receiving.
Okay. And Eric, you went with CMC, which is, I mean, that's yeah.
I mean,
That's what, yeah, that's what he does.
So
Yeah.
listen, I believe he scored in. There was one point in time last year with San Francisco that he scored in 6 straight games.
Yep.
So, I'd have to look it up, but I believe that is correct. Yeah, I mean that's a hell of a pick. That's another one that I could see absolutely being the leader in touchdowns for sure.
Absolutely.
All 3 of these guys that we picked could be. I think mine's a little bit more of a long shot, truthfully, but being that he's a rookie, I'm just going by the usage.
Yeah,
that they're gonna
like
give
you
him.
said, they're going to use the hell out of him. So
Yeah.
Next we got running back PPR machine. Eric, you went with Derrick Henry.
I did.
Wow. Okay.
It's probably a mistake, but you live and you learn.
Yeah, he's not really a receiver very much. He did have his most receptions out of any year last year, but
Do you think they try to use him in a different way this year? Maybe more out of the backfield like that?
I mean-
instead of just trying to plow him into the fucking middle of the line all the time?
I mean they tried last year.
Yeah.
So which is why he had his most receptions out of any year last year. So I mean they're trying to get him more
Yeah.
involved in that aspect. Who knows?
He's never been a super good hands guy. I don't think.
That's what she said. I thought somebody else.
I just keep lining them up for you
Damn, man.
all day.
All day. All day. I took Austin Eckler.
I had to.
I went with Austin Eckler, kind of like we
Yeah.
talked about before. The guy touches the ball like,
Yeah.
how many times? Like 70. It's crazy how much that guy touches the ball. So I think that guy's again, he's going to be great for your PPR if you're in a PPR league.
Absolutely.
I think he's right up there with your pick and Christian
McCaffrey. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, those two. And again, I could have put Bijan here too. I mean, there's certain guys that you just expect to be involved in like the running backs are involved in every aspect of the game, running the football, receiving, catching. Like those guys are who you think of. Eckler, McCaffrey, those are the guys that you completely think of when you think of that.
Absolutely.
And Bijan takes a step into that category this year, obviously.
Next, we got best backup running back. Joe, you went with Montgomery.
Yeah, because I see them as 1A and 1B.
Okay.
So technically he's a backup, but yeah, I think Montgomery's at this point the better back on the field for them. And if I were to look across the league and see as a second back who I think is the best, to me it's Montgomery. I think they did a great job signing him. I think that was a smart move.
I think it's a solid analysis, and I don't disagree with you. I think it's going to be one of the top backup running backs, and that's the thing with the NFL now. I don't know if there is such thing as like backup running back.
Yeah, it's more like 1A and 1B.
yeah.
Unless you have a guy like McCaffrey or
Right.
Eckler. You know what I mean? Like those guys are
Yeah, you
guys
can't-
are clearly one.
Yeah.
But on the majority of teams now, yeah, I think you're right. I think it's a 1A and a 1B, and
There's not a huge difference between your like 1 and your 2.
Nope.
You know.
Nope.
Eric, you went with Dylan?
I did.
Yeah. Nice. I like it.
he showed flashes before.
Yep.
But last year was a real disappointment. Like everyone had him pegged to take that next step last year, and he
didn't.
He didn't at all. But I mean, he still has the talent. So I mean, I can't hate on that pick.
No, certainly not.
He has the talent to do it.
Yes. I went with Antonio Gibson. I mean,
That's a clear 1A 1B
it
scenario
really is
too, right there.
It really is, and I think that's exactly how they're going to use it in DC. And
Well, he's definitely going to catch the most passes, right? He's
Yep.
going to be the receiving guy, the third down guy.
Yep.
Brian Robinson's going to be the 1 and 2 first down, second down guy, maybe even the goal line guy. But Gibson's going to be very, very involved.
yes.
Very.
Next, we got wide receiver bust. I like yours. Eric went with Debo.
Different, eh?
Debo.
A little different.
Debo. See, I'm going to tell you why I don't hate on that one. Tell me your reason first. I'm going to tell you why I don't hate that. I don't hate that.
Who's not throwing the ball? Mr. Irrelevant.
Yeah. Well, and
You could kind of see it last year too.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
he took a step back last year, I think.
fantasy wise, yes.
He looked. I feel like in mid season, like it was nowhere near the same as it was 2 years ago.
Yeah.
It's almost
Where
like
he
once
was
they
just
got
everywhere.
CMC.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's when it was just like Debo
So-
took like a significant backseat.
Well, and for me, he's one of the best players in the league. Honestly, like if you watch him on a weekly
Yeah.
basis, like if you were to just zone the camera on him and see what he does. I mean,
Yeah.
the guy blocks. He runs almost perfect routes.
Got great pad level.
He's
He's a muscle hamster. He's got great motor.
he's got a great motor.
He's a football player.
He's a motorboat son of a bitch.
He's a football player.
He does a lot of things right. Like he's a great football player. He really is. But when it comes down to like production, he did take a step back last year, and I that's why I don't hate on that pick. I think being a bust at wide receiver. When you think of a wide receiver, you think of a ton of receptions, touchdowns. Like you think of Justin Jefferson, right? Like that.
Yeah.
You think of a wide receiver being a wide receiver. That's what you want. And I just don't think he's going to produce that either. So I agree with you there, Eric, wholeheartedly.
Joe, you went with Cooper Kupp, which I don't disagree with this one bit.
So 2 reasons. Again, quarterback situation.
Yep.
Right? They have a guy at quarterback, if he can stay healthy, doesn't know how to lead people. And I don't know if Cooper Kupp falls in that category. He doesn't know how to lead. I don't know. I mean, he basically looks like his wife, so I think they get along. I don't really know. But also, Cooper Kupp is already
So they
injured.
both look like Corky from. Life
No.
Goes On?
No.
Oh.
So yeah, Matt Stafford looks like Corky.
That's
Life
what I'm
Goes
saying.
On.
Yeah.
But Cooper Kupp
Oh,
looks
it looks
like
like
his wife.
Kelly Stafford. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's right. Yeah. Yeah.
But when it comes down to it, also the injury. Like he's already injured in preseason. He missed a lot of time.
Yep.
He already re-injured himself during preseason and might miss the first week, if not a little more. That's a huge issue. I mean, he missed a lot of time last year. If they're not competitive, does Matt Stafford even see the field halfway through the season? Does Cooper Kupp come back, or does he stay out? And if he does come back, who's throwing the football? That's a big up and down situation that I see there, and I do have him in one league because I was 7th in the first round,
Yeah.
and it was before he re-injured it. But at that point in time, seventh pick in the first round, it was hard to pass up on him, even though I really wanted to. So I have one share of him. I don't like it. I think he's not going to be the guy this year.
Okay.
I mean, last year in his games, he still points per game that he played was
Yeah.
still the leader.
Yeah. Right.
Points per game. But he just didn't play enough games, and I think it's going to be the same way this year.
Okay. I went with Christian Kirk, and simply because Kevin Ridley's back.
Yep.
And I think it's going to diminish the production that Christian Kirk had last year.
Completely agree.
So it was pretty simple choice for me. I mean, I know he didn't put up like huge numbers or anything last year.
But he was still damn good.
He was a solid receiver.
Yeah.
He was good, but he's not going to put up anywhere near what he did last year.
I don't believe so. No. Not unless
So-
they're throwing the ball every single
So
fucking
that
down.
in turn means kind of you're a bust this
Yep.
year, you know.
Yep.
So yeah, that was a pretty easy pick for me. But I am still looking forward to that Jacksonville offense. So they're going to put up a ton of numbers this year. But
Oh yeah. I that's going to be one of the more fun offenses to
'cause
watch.
they're
this
for
year.
real.
They are for real. I've heard that. I've heard that. I'm trying to think of who said that.
I don't know. Somebody said it.
I'm trying to think.
I don't know.
I don't know. I can't remember.
I don't know. Somebody said it.
Somebody did.
Next up, we got the running back bust, and Joe, you went with Austin Eckler.
I did for the reasons I kind of gave earlier. He's been used a ton, and I think either regression from him being used so much, body wearing down, or they just decide not to use him as much this year and pull back a little bit. Use Kelly in that offense a little bit more, and don't wear him down so much. I think he's for where he's being drafted in fantasy drafts. It's you're gonna consider that a bust this year. Like you're drafting him top 4 overall, and you're not gonna get that production out of him this year. I don't believe.
Eric, who did you go with?
I went with Alexander Madison.
Okay.
Oh,
Wow. All right.
that goes along with what I said earlier.
Exactly.
It really does. Yeah, it does. I went with Tony Pollard. I know you're not high on Tony Pollard. You weren't even last year when he had he actually had a pretty good season
Yes,
last
he
year.
did.
Yeah.
He was a workhorse for
He
me
was
in fantasy.
He was the same here. But I don't see him having that type of year again this year. I think the Cowboys are gonna. I think they're gonna sling it all around the field.
I was going to say they're going to be real bad then because they don't have anybody else in the backfield.
They really don't. But I don't think they're gonna run the ball that much. I really don't. I think they're gonna sling it.
Yep.
I think it's exactly.
I've kind of stayed away from Pollard.
Yeah.
In my fantasy
You
leagues,
have.
I don't necessarily. I think he's more gimmicky. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying he's a bad football player, but he's not an every down back to me. I just don't see him as that.
right.
But he caught a lot of passes last
Yeah.
year too.
Yep. And he can
So,
still do
in
that
the
this year.
But I'm just saying, in the passing game, I think he can, even in a flex position, he wouldn't be that bad. It's not a bad idea.
Right. No.
It's not a bad person to play if you have him.
Yeah, I've just avoided him completely, honestly. Again,
Still no.
I have because his cost to me for me is too much. Like it would cost me too much to put him there, and I have question marks on him, so I just don't take him.
Next, we have the QB bust. Joe, you went with the obvious one in Dak Prescott. I mean,
I'm not even gonna say anything. We've talked enough about this.
We have.
You're right. I don't see him producing like a number 1 quarterback. I just don't.
no, he's gonna throw more than 10 interceptions. He just is because that's what that dude does. He throws picks. And I'm not saying like all the picks were his fault, but some of them were, and they were really bad. Those ones that were just
really
like,
bad.
whoa, those are really bad.
Yep.
Now, Eric, who did you go with as QB bust?
I'm also going to go. The sheet's starting to repeat itself. Because Baker fits the bill again.
Jeez. All right. Yeah, I mean it's hard to disagree with that.
Yep.
It really is a guy who's
Bust, avoid, benched.
damn man.
He
might hate Baker more than you.
yeah, no shit.
I've never been a fan. I've never been a fan.
I went with Tua, simply because
Injuries.
Exactly.
Right?
I don't think
Yeah.
he's gonna make it through the season.
Yep.
So that was
Yeah, when I saw that, I kind of
exactly why.
thought that was why.
I mean, I don't. And I know he took jujitsu or whatever so he could land differently or whatever. But was he doing jujitsu against like 350-pound dudes, landing on him?
Yeah, I don't know.
That's okay.
I didn't see his classes.
And we all know. I wish it was online. We could YouTube it and find out.
We could. It'd be great.
But I mean, that's what we all know. Like once you get one concussion,
Yeah.
the second one, and then the third one.
You
it's
saw
like,
last year with him. I mean, it is a problem.
It is. So like that's why I went with him as QB bust this year. But we shall see. Your best future bet, Eric. What did you go with?
I got nothing.
No.
I don't even know where to start.
Well, maybe we'll give ours, and then you can maybe know where to start.
Maybe.
Yes.
We'll give ours.
I went with Bijan Robinson as Rookie of the Year.
I love that one.
I
love that one.
Wow.
Yep. I love that one. I love that one almost as much as I love mine.
Oh, yours is. I think it's already etched in stone. If that dude stays healthy,
I'm not gonna lie. I've already put money on it.
I don't blame you.
That's how much I think this is a great future bet.
I don't blame you.
Micah Parsons for Defensive Player of the Year.
Yes.
If he stays healthy all season,
Yep.
there's no fucking way he doesn't win Defensive Player of the Year.
God, can you imagine the Niners could have had him and Bosa? Instead, they went and got Trey Lance.
Oh my God! And gave away picks.
Like whomever, seriously, like you look back just at that, you should be fired immediately for.
Yep.
Like that's
Yeah.
just bad. But So do you have one? If you're listening to what we
I
got.
still really don't have one.
Okay. We'll fill something in for you.
We'll figure something out later.
Yes.
That's what she said.
MVP. Nice. Nice.
MVP.
Yeah.
Eric, who'd you go with?
Jalen Hurts. For very obvious reasons.
Very obvious
As
reasons.
long as last year repeats itself, he's MVP hands down.
Right.
I think last week I said Jalen Hurts, but for this I didn't want to have the same answer as you guys. So
Yeah.
I went with Joe Burrow.
See, that's a solid pick too.
Yeah.
I mean, and I do have to read this. Alicia says, when you say stay healthy, do you mean like not get hurt? Yes. Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Hey,
we're not talking
hey,
like eat
this
like
is a
Taco
step
Bell
in-
before the game and
No,
Like
no. You guys don't understand. This is a step in the total right direction. She is understanding. We do this all the time.
Oh my god.
We do. She's like, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, okay. Does it just want me to go outside and watch it so you can watch something else? Yeah.
That's
Okay.
That's fantastic.
That's great.
I love that.
That's great. I love the fact that you are listening along and you are paying attention, Alicia. So
Yes,
thank you for
we
that.
appreciate it.
Even
Thank
though
you.
I'm no longer your friend, apparently. Thank you.
Much appreciated. Joe, you went with Trevor Lawrence,
Yeah.
which that's a solid pick.
It's,
I love
it's,
that pick.
It's more of an outside pick than
Yes, it is.
than Hurts and Burrow, right? I mean, those guys are more proven than Trevor, but they're also more proven teams, right?
Right.
Right.
But it's like I'm looking at it going, all right, I think he showed what he showed last year. I think he can build on that, and I think that team can build on that.
Yep.
I think they're going to be a little bit surprising this year how good they're going to be. And he's got an outside chance at it, but I think he's got enough of a chance. I wanted to throw him in there. I
We
like
all
that.
said it last year, too. It's like, they are for real.
Oh, we didn't all
team
say
is for real.
We didn't all say
We
it.
didn't all say it.
We didn't all say it.
We
Two
said it,
out
but
of
we
the
didn't
three
say
of us
it.
said it.
You and I might have said it.
Yeah. That's
There
why I
might have
said
been-
it.
there
Two
might
out
have
of
been
three of us
a-
might have said it.
You and I might have said
There
it.
might have been a misinterpretation.
There
of what
might have
we
been
said.
there might have been somebody who did not say it at a certain point in time.
Yeah.
But it was misconstrued how it was coming out. But anyways, we digress. But with Trevor Lawrence,
Yeah.
though, if he makes the step that we think he's going to make, then
Yep.
yes, I think your pick right here is accurate. I think he can absolutely win the MVP.
Yep.
As long as it's not Aaron Rodgers. For the love of God, done with that guy.
Oh my God! How bad would it be if he goes to New York and fucking wins the MVP with him and Wilson just fucking lighting it up all year?
It'd be something. In that division, though, I don't see that happening.
I really don't either. But I mean, I think they're gonna have a great year. But I don't
I do
see
too.
it. I don't see an MVP season coming out of
No,
him.
neither do I. And then for the last one on the list, just your straight up bold prediction. Eric, what do you got?
SOL will get ended this year.
Ooh, all right. I dig it. Mine was
Which means, hold on, let's dive deeper into this. Which means
oh
what?
yeah. Oh yeah, we are
Which
yeah.
means what?
I'm having flashbacks.
There's a lot of things it could mean. The choking that we see pretty much the whole first half. They usually were a second half team where it's always making a comeback.
Yeah.
So let's work on leading games and staying ahead. You know that. I fully expect them to make the playoffs this year.
But do they win a playoff game?
That's
Is
where
that what ends
that's
as well?
Well, that's part of the dagger.
Okay.
There's a lot of things that got to line up, and it's sad to say it, but for as
Okay.
unproven as they've been for as long as it's been,
Okay.
you guys still have a lot to do.
Jay Garcia chimes in here before we get to ours next,
Yeah.
and
Yeah,
he
we
says
figured that
bold
out.
prediction. And Eric already said he's a Lion Slappy, so we'll take this with a grain of salt, Jay. we're not dogging you, Jay. We appreciate you listening and chiming in,
Yeah.
and we're gonna read everything you put out there, well, within reason. He said the Lions make it to NFC Championship. Make it, not win it. Make it.
But I think if that happens, SOL is over.
If that happens, SOL is definitely dead.
Yes.
That's 2 playoff wins.
Yep.
Unless they somehow get a first round bye.
Right. In that case, it's one. But Who knows?
I don't
Could
see
happen.
that.
My bold prediction is the Pittsburgh Steelers go to the Super Bowl.
I think we all have them pegged to be a little bit of a surprise team this year.
Yep.
I can't hate on it.
Nope.
I could more hate on the Lions SOL ends
Oh,
than
yeah.
I can Pittsburgh make it to the Super
I mean,
Bowl.
with the
That's
Steelers,
But
they got the coach. I think they definitely have the defense to do it.
yep.
It's just a matter if Pickett can take that next step, and if they can, then I think they have a team good enough to surprise people and get to the AFC and get to the Super Bowl.
Yep. I like that. Mine is along the same lines. I have Jacksonville winning the Super Bowl.
Woo! Wow. All right, I dig that.
So
Nice.
that's
Large leap.
it is a large leap. But again, you gotta be bold with your bold prediction, right?
I
So
like
I mean,
it.
we all think they're going to be a good team this year. We all think they're going to make the playoffs, right? But we don't. The NFL is kind of that you take it in steps, right? You make it the playoffs,
Yes.
and then you make it the playoffs again, and you win a game or two. Then you make it the playoffs again, and you like it's always steps, right?
Right.
It's like the NBA used to be. Now it's not like that.
Nah,
the NBA
no.
used to be that you take those steps, you make the playoffs, you get seasons, right?
No, it's
Anyway.
this is too hard.
Yeah. I need more stars around me.
This is too hard.
But with Jacksonville, I think they can take more than just that one step. I believe they're primed to do that, and I think besides taking that one step, I'm going to take it 2 or 3 steps further, not just making the playoffs and winning a game or being really good.
I dig
I'm
it.
taking them to win the fucking Super Bowl,
I dig it. Nice.
and in that case, Trevor Lawrence would win
Oh, yeah.
MVP.
Yes, he would.
Well, that is the end of that list.
Speaking of an MVP, you know what I'm talking about?
Who's that?
Baldman Entertainment.
That's right.
We all know planning an event such as a wedding, birthday party, graduation party, or any other event that might require a DJ can be very hairy. Eliminate the stress and give Steve Waddell at Bald Man Entertainment a call today at 586-747-5402. The best decision you can make for a smooth event.
Nice.
Yeah.
So you want to do the picks? Or you want to do the taste first?
It's up to you guys.
I don't really care.
Yeah, no matter.
I don't really fucking care either.
You know what? Let's do the picks,
Yeah.
and then we'll get into
This
our
segment is brought
taste.
to you by the Joe Wright Group.
Sorry, I cut you off there. You said let's do the picks, and I just clicked it.
You did.
Ready?
I had a fast trigger finger.
So we started out last week, and we all did pretty well.
Yep.
You guys went 4 for 5. I went 5 for 5. So we're off to a pretty strong start here. I dig that. That was just straight up college picks, but now we're obviously going to do college picks and the NFL. So let's get into them. First up, we got Nebraska taking on the Deion Sanders Buffaloes, Colorado, whatever the fuck you want to call them.
The Colorado Buffaloes.
So, like we talked about before the show, like apparently winning one game, you're like the greatest coach ever. So
Yeah, he basically just entered the Hall of Fame.
he did.
College Hall of Fame.
Yeah, he's the best coach ever. Whatever. Don't get me wrong. I think he's gonna do really well at Colorado. But again, it's one game. Take it down a notch, guys. Anyways, Nebraska taking on Colorado. Colorado's laying 3.
Give me Colorado. Nebraska's shit, and Colorado, they have some talent on that team.
Yep.
I'll take Colorado.
Oh, give me Colorado as well.
Same.
100%. Am I right? I gotta write these down. Shit. I totally forgot about that.
I'm gonna flip this paper over.
So Alicia says, while you're doing that, Alicia says, what about the Buffalo song? Don't worry, I'll play that.
Oh,
It'll be played a
we have
lot.
plenty of times to hear that. during this.
It'll be played a lot during
Yeah,
the season.
No doubt.
And there'll be a few times where I play the Dan Campbell wrestling promo
yeah.
as well.
Oh, I love that. That's
Cannot
so
wait.
good. That's so good.
And then Allison says, I think Chris's new facial hair is bringing him luck on his picks.
I don't know about that, but whatever it is, I'll take it.
Gonna have to leave until you find out otherwise.
That's right.
At least it's not growing in all white trashy like it used to.
I know. That's
You're no longer looking like Joe Dirt when you grow out facial hair.
hey, it's Dirte. Stop churching it up, Dirt.
Stop churching it up, Dirt.
Next up, we got the Battle of Iowa. The Hawkeyes are laying 4, taking on Iowa State.
Give me Iowa.
Yep.
minus the 4. I think they can beat them by more than 4.
Yeah.
Although the pace they're on right now, their offensive coordinator is set to get fired at the end of the season.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, because it's in the contract. They have to score 25 points a game. They scored 24. He's already behind.
Oh, yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's a good point.
It's a hell of a contract.
Yeah. It's hilarious.
I'm taking Iowa State in this one.
Iowa State.
Yes. And Eric, you were taking Iowa, you said?
Yes.
Okay.
You having problems typing there, buddy?
Yeah, oh, God. I hate this keyboard. It's fucking ridiculous.
I'm just seeing.
It's so
I'm seeing
bad.
it as you type it, and I just keep seeing you type it out and then backspace. Type it out,
It's-
backspace. Type it out, backspace.
Seriously, man. This computer sucks.
I didn't know whether you were having a seizure or making mistakes in typing, but
No, this computer blows. So, all right. Next up, we got Cincinnati taking on Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's laying 7.
give me Cincinnati.
Okay. Eric, what say you?
I'm going to take Pittsburgh.
I'm going to go with Cincinnati in this one. Actually, you know what? I take that back. I'm going Pittsburgh. Yes. Joe, you said Cincinnati?
Yeah,
Okay.
I
And-
did.
And Eric, you said Pittsburgh.
I'm on the island.
Pittsburgh.
I'm on the island.
You are on the island.
Yes, you are.
All right. Next up, we got Texas taking on Alabama. Alabama's laying 7.
Give me Bama. Texas is not back.
No, they are not.
Texas is never back. Ever.
Well.
Roll Tide, baby.
Yeah.
Roll Tide.
So we're all taking Bama.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bama across the board.
Yep. Hold on. Then we got Texas A&M laying 4, taking on Miami. Since I'm the resident Hurricanes fan here,
Yeah, I'm gonna let you take this one first.
this is, to me, this is a benchmark game for Tyler Van Dyke. Either he produces in this game or he just leave because you're not the guy. And I think he does. Give me Miami.
Chris, I'm not going to be as thought provoking with my picks, but or my pick here, but yeah, I'm going to go with Miami.
Yep.
Okay.
Same.
All right. I'm looking forward to watching that this weekend. That should be great. It's supposed to be nice outside too that day.
Yes, it
Like
is.
72.
Yeah.
Beautiful. It's gonna be great.
Look, not too hot, not too
Hoodie weather
cold.
later.
Just right.
Yeah,
Just
that's
right.
And
Yeah. By the way, I'll be just a little bit late for that because the St. Hubert's Festival, where Steve is DJing, starts at the same time.
Okay.
So, but I'll still be here. I'll head here from there.
Next up, we got UNLV taking on Michigan. Michigan's laying 36.5.
Give me UNLV.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Same.
Because Michigan got up and then kind of took the foot off the gas.
Oh, yeah.
Not to mention the running game didn't look very good. I think they're going to have to work on that a little bit. And they're not going to throw the ball as much. They're going to run the ball a little bit more and try and get that running game going before they really get into their season. So, for that reason, I don't see them running up the score past, fucking 37 points on UNLV.
And Eric, you're rolling
Yep,
with
I agree with that one.
Okay. All right, next up, we're moving to the NFL. First up, first game of the year. The Detroit Lions traveling to Arrowhead to take on the defending Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. The Chefs are laying 5.5.
And this has actually dropped down recently, too.
Of course, with the Kelsey news, of course.
It dropped down to I think it dropped down to 4 last time I saw it, but we're picking at 5.5.
Yep.
I still, no, I don't know. 5.5. Yeah, that's tough. If Kelsey doesn't, if Kelsey doesn't play, that's really no Chris Jones, no Kelsey.
I would definitely take the over in this game, though.
Oh yeah, I think both teams are going to score, but you know what? Give me Detroit.
Okay. I am also taking Detroit.
Yep.
Well, we knew you.
like
were,
that.
you,
I
we
like
knew
that.
you were taking Detroit.
Hey, to get points,
We weren't even
that
gonna,
kind of points. Too?
we weren't even going to ask you. We were just going to put Detroit down.
See how it is.
Next up, we got the Niners laying 2.5, taking on the Steelers.
Oof.
Yeah, that's a toughie. I'm gonna go with the Steelers.
Give me the Niners.
I'm going with the Steelers as well. Next up, we got the Dolphins taking on the Chargers. The Chargers are laying 3.
All right. Hold on. Looking at something. Somebody else wants to take it, they can.
Oh, I'll take the Dolphins. I think
Yep.
Brandon Staley's going to fuck up the first game of the season. So
That's yeah.
What's the spread?
3.
3.
Chargers are giving up 3?
Yes.
Yeah.
Miami.
Yeah, give me Miami. I think Miami wins this game outright.
And Eric, you were taking the Dolphins as well?
Yes, I am.
Okay. That's what I was thinking when I took it. Yeah, I think they're going to win out.
I think Miami wins it outright.
Next up, we got the Bengals taking on the Cleveland Browns. Joe? What do you got?
What's the spread on this one?
Oh, Cincinnati's laying 2.5. Sorry.
Cincinnati's laying 2.5.
Yeah, I'll take
Give me Cleveland. I actually think Cleveland wins this game outright.
I'm taking the Bungles, even though Joe Burrow is he playing? Does anybody know?
I don't think anybody knows.
I haven't heard.
Let me change that then. I'm going to go with the Brownies because I don't know if Joe Burrow is playing.
I'm going to stick with the Bengals.
Okay. Well, that's
Jay Garcia took Detroit, too. Just in case anybody was wondering.
Thanks, Jay.
thanks, Jay.
Jay did say, guys, before we wrap up, great show. I'll be tuning in every week.
Awesome.
Great analysis.
Thanks.
Great Oprah-esque family drama. I'm assuming that's the Alicia and Eric part of the show. Great interaction and wonderful job, guys.
Wait till you get to mine and ladies friends.
Yeah. It gets juicier, Jay.
It does.
But thank you, Jay. Thank you for listening. We appreciate it.
Yeah, we do. Absolutely. Much appreciated. Next up, we got Dallas laying 3.5 taking on the New York Giants.
Oh, God, that's such a dumpster fire.
Dallas laying 3.5 taking on the Giants. Give me the Giants.
Really?
It's in New York. Yeah, give me the Giants.
I'm taking the Cowboys.
They're getting
Yeah, I'm
Giants are
taking
getting Giants are
Dallas.
getting 3.5
Yep.
in New York.
Yep.
Yeah,
Okay.
give me the Giants.
I'm taking
I don't trust Dallas. I just don't.
I don't either, but
I mean,
I
it's
don't
hard to trust
trust
the
the
Giants
Giants either.
too. I know. Yeah. But you know who I trust more? I trust their head coach more.
understand.
So that's why for me
the
that's
Giants?
yeah.
Yeah. I'm sticking. I'm going with
Yeah.
the Cowboys,
Yeah, I'm
even though it
going
pains me to
Cowboys,
do
too.
it. But I'm going with the Cowboys. And the final game of the NFL slate, the Buffalo Bills laying 2.5 taking on the Jets.
In New York,
It is in New York. Yes.
give me the Jets.
Yeah, I'm going with the Jets as well.
Jets, Jets.
Like I said, I'm not convinced about the Bills. Have trouble with that defense. They just do.
And it's a great fucking defense
It's
too.
great.
I mean,
That's why-
they're-
exactly.
So I mean,
First game of the brand new Rodgers
First-
era.
yeah,
Yeah, give me the Jets.
yeah. I think New York's coming out in New York on Monday night. They're gonna play just balls to the fucking wall. That defense is
Yep.
gonna be fired up. Offense is gonna be fired up. Yeah.
All right, give me the Jets.
We're all,
Did we talk you into it?
The board, yeah. Yeah, you did.
yeah, we're across the board.
I was
with-
really going the other way.
with JETS suck. Gotcha. And those are the picks.
Yeah,
Nicely done, fellas.
yeah.
All right. So, Eric, what are we drinking?
We are drinking long drink tonight, boys. You guys had these yet? Tried these?
I have not.
So this is Ricky Fowler's partnered up with this brand.
Okay.
That just came out sometime this summer, I believe.
Okay.
Okay.
It's gin with this is gin and grapefruit.
Oh boy.
Okay.
There's zero sugar. There's peach, cranberry, and then this is the grapefruit. Or
Yeah,
citrus.
yeah,
Let's pour it out, man. Let's go.
All right.
Let's do it.
yeah.
All right.
Uh-oh.
Yep. Got me all.
You're not
Make me wanna
Yeah, there it is.
your heels up and
You're knocking over Thomas Magnum, man.
throw your head.
You're welcome, Alicia.
Come on now, the Bills are making it happen now.
Oh God. I hope I.
Let's go Buffalo. Let's go Buffalo. Let's go Buffalo.
Alrighty.
And then we'll give a shout out to Allison.
Hello, lady.
There we go. There it is.
Hello, lady.
Good show.
it's a great show, guys.
Good show.
Awesome.
All right, boys. Cheers. Oh, Oh, we don't have that.
Salute.
The thing, do we, anymore?
What's that?
Yeah.
Oh, the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's wait for it.
Oh. You mean this? Yeah. I mean, I guess I can still play it, but
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, you might have had this at the house.
All right, motherfuckers, let's take a timeout and taste this.
Oh, there it is.
there we go.
It's weird. Like, I don't hate it, but I don't love it. It's weird.
See, I've had a couple of these.
Okay.
I don't like this one. This one tastes like you took a grapefruit and you squeezed like one drop of grapefruit juice into here, and that was about it. Like, it's very weak.
Yeah, I can see
And
that.
it's like you basically you waved the grapefruit across the glass before
Yeah,
you gave it to me, and it has a hint of grapefruit. Like basically you had me drink this and you told me to think of a grapefruit.
Right. Like, I'm gonna say the aftertaste. Not a fan.
No,
Not a fan of the
this one
aftertaste.
is. I'm not a fan of this.
Maybe
one.
there's like a better like flavor or whatever, but this one, I'm not a huge fan of it. But that's why we try these things. Yep.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Trust me, we've had some horrible beers on this
Ooh.
show.
That's some bad ones. So that's not horrible.
No, it's
just
not.
It's just not.
It might not be the right environment too. Like on a hot day when you're out there baking, it might taste more refreshing than it does now. I don't know.
Well, I've had a
To
couple
me,
of those,
I
and
think
the
so.
ones I've had actually taste better than this one.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'd probably have to try a different flavor, but
Yeah.
I would have to try a different flavor. This definitely wouldn't be one I'd go with, but
And Jay says cranberry long drink is where it's at.
oh, all right.
I don't think I've had that one either, though.
I wouldn't be against that.
Allison says great show, by the way.
Of course she does. Again, we could do dead air. Great show.
Literally, we could sit here and just stare at each other for fucking 20 minutes during a portion of the show.
Great show, guys.
We get done, she'd still be like, "Great show, guys. It was great."
It's like that one episode we did when I just didn't say a word and we just stared at each other for like 5 minutes.
It's a great show, guys.
Great show, guys.
We kid, Allison. We love you.
Yeah. But
So,
yeah. But she supports the show, so we can't say anything bad about her.
well, we just kind of did.
Kinda
Yeah.
did,
We
but-
kind of did for like about 10 minutes or so,
yeah.
but
we kid because we care.
Allison goes, "Wait, it wasn't dead air."
I don't know what the fuck she's talking about.
How many of you had Allison?
That's a good question. Anyways,
All right. Well, that's going to bring us to the end of the show. We'll see if I can actually get this
Do
right
it.
this time.
do it.
Give us a like, a share, and a follow on our social media like Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Twitch, and YouTube. You can find all of our podcasts on your favorite podcast provider. Check out SOTDET.com. I put up the season projections for fantasy. I also put up our picks there. The site's been updated, so check it out, SOTDET.com. On behalf of Chris and Eric, I'm Joe. We are Sports on Tap Detroit. See you next Tuesday.
And that is it for us today.
No! God, please, no!
Bye, have a great time.
No! God!
Bye, guys.
No, 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 no.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
Goodbye.
No!
It's never goodbye.
You know, we've been through our ups and been through our downs.
And you were meant to be here tonight.
You guys will always be in my heart.
Great moments are born from great opportunity.
I think the most important part is that we all stay together throughout.
Don't give up. Don't ever give up.
Live. Fight like hell. The best thing I've ever done, the best thing I will ever do, is be a dad.
God, I love you guys. Mamba out.